Our top story at 11, a former emergency room nurse at Ascension St. Vincent in Williamsport says she was forced to resign after she didn't get the COVID-19 vaccine. She says she applied for a religious exemption and it was denied. I sat down with her and she shares why she feels the hospital is sending mixed messages. A note to our viewers, she's asked to remain anonymous for the fear of not being able to be hired in the future. This is the email a former emergency room nurse at Ascension St. Vincent, Williamsport received after she applied for a religious exemption in order to not get the COVID-19 vaccine. Her last day was November 12th.
This is America. We have freedoms, and one of those freedoms is, right to religion. And like I said earlier, I completely understand that healthcare has a main priority to keep our patients safe. But at the same time, there's other things that can be done to keep our patients safe besides getting the vaccine, and that we're already doing.
This former employee says she applied for religious exemption in the past for the influenza vaccine, and it was approved.
In the past, people have applied for influenza exemptions, and really no one's guessed or questioned you, but now it's being questioned if you do apply for an exemption.
That's why she was surprised her request was denied for the COVID-19 vaccine, even after getting a letter from her head pastor testifying that she's a devout Christian.
And they said it wasn't a challenge of your beliefs, but it almost feels like that when you send in a long letter explaining your beliefs, and then you even have your head pastor send a letter explaining that your beliefs are true.
While this former nurse holds her religious beliefs close to her, she was also concerned about getting the vaccine while breastfeeding, since she recently just had her first child.
My whole perspective has changed on what I put into my body, what I consume with my mind, like TV, entertainment. And so I really dug in and read through the entire FDA insert. And in the insert, it says there's no data on if it's excreted in breast milk, and there's no data on how it affects infants, and there's no data on how it affects your breast milk.
According to the CDC's website, they do recommend getting the COVID-19 vaccine if you're breastfeeding. However, it does note that clinical trials for the vaccines currently used in the U.S. did not include people who are breastfeeding, so there's limited data available. But recent reports have shown that breastfeeding people who have received the vaccine have antibodies in their breast milk, which can potentially protect an infant. The former nurse holds no ill will towards the hospital, but she hopes they may reconsider.
I don't think they have to withdraw their mandate. I don't think that's necessary. But I do think maybe they should rethink how they're evaluating these exemptions and what it can potentially do to the hospital.
We reached out to Ascension St. Vincent for a comment on this story, but they did not get back to us by our deadline.